from the VON Newsline. This is the VON Major Newscast.
Good evening, I am Jarvis Bunny with your VON Major News package for today, Monday, 8th April 2019. In our lead stories nationally, Nevis observes World Health Day as the Federation prepares to introduce universal health coverage and cases of damage by 2017 hurricanes to be dealt with before June 2019. Regionally, 14 persons die at sea in the Turks and Caicos Islands. Internationally, Chicago reports 24 shootings and 5 murders in one weekend. And in sports, T20 tournament key but not enough to revive Windies cricket, so says New Cricket West Indies president Ricky Skerritt. We'll have the details to these and other stories after this short break.
Another look.
Different from how you've seen it before.
Another look.
Takes an in-depth look into business, politics, science, technology, religion, and more.
Another look.
Featuring documentaries from the BBC, regional features, and local ones too.
Another look.
Every Monday at 3 p.m. on the Eastern Caribbean's powerhouse, Vaughan.
Welcome back and now on to the national news in detail. Sunday 7th April was observed as World Health Day. World Health Day is a global health awareness day celebrated every year on April 7th under the sponsorship of the World Health Organization as well as other related organizations. In an address to mark the occasion, Junior Minister with Responsibility for Health in the Nevis Island Administration, the Honourable Hazel Brandy Williams, said that this year's theme, Universal Health Coverage, Everyone Everywhere, is therefore timely as the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis moves towards advancing the implementation of universal health care for its citizens and residents. She also alluded to why it was necessary to provide universal health coverage.
In St. Kitts and Nevis, it is estimated that 70% of our population is uninsured, and many individuals and their families resort to approaching government for medical assistance. Our National Health Accounts Report in 2011 revealed that household out-of-pocket spending accounted for 55% of total health expenditure, and persons still don't seek access to certain health services because of their inability to pay.
The Honourable Hazel Brandy Williams. Minister Brandy Williams said that the objective of universal health coverage is therefore to provide every member of society with equitable access to quality health services irrespective of age, gender, race, pre-existing health conditions, or socio-economic status. All genuine cases of damage by hurricanes will be dealt with and will be dealt with before June. Those were the words of Prime Minister Dr. the Honourable Timothy Harris as he spoke during a recent town hall-styled meeting in St. Kitts last Tuesday. Residents of households with damaged roofs as well as a result from the passage of Hurricanes Irma and Maria in 2017 were assured during that meeting that they will receive assistance via the government's Hurricane Roof Repair Program. According to the Prime Minister, as the program comes to a close, persons who qualify for the assistance would have had to be previously registered to receive funds to repair their roofs. He also stressed that the damage must have been caused by either Hurricane Irma or Maria. More than 2,000 households in St. Kitts and Nevis have benefited since the relief measure was introduced in April 2018. In police news, the Nevis Division of the Royal St. Christopher Nevis Police Force are currently investigating an armed robbery incident that occurred in Nevis on Friday, April 5th. According to a police communique, preliminary investigations have revealed that Ralph Otley of Brazier's estate was attacked by 3 armed masked men after arriving home and entering his yard sometime after 1 p.m. The release indicated that they demanded money and managed to escape with a small sum of cash and fired several shots before fleeing the scene. Otley was transported to the Alexandra Hospital where he was treated and discharged for minor injuries. The scene was visited and processed by members of the forensic unit, and items of evidential value were taken into custody. Investigations into the matter are ongoing, and anyone with information about this incident is asked to contact the Criminal Investigations Department or their nearest police station. Still in police news, officers of the Royal St. Christopher Nevis Police Force are currently on the hunt for a man wanted for questioning. A police communique issued on Friday, April 5th, indicates that the police are seeking the assistance of the public with apprehending a man involved in a sexual assault incident in the Bastille area. Investigations into the incident revealed that at approximately 2 a.m. on March 26th, the assailant entered the premises where the victim was staying and sexually assaulted her. Anyone who may have any information regarding this incident is to contact the Special Victims Unit SVU or your nearest police station. Elsewhere, another armed robbery is being investigated by the police. The incident occurred in Claygut in Nevis on Saturday, April 6th. At about 11:30 p.m., a lone armed masked man entered a bar in the Claygut area and demanded money. The assailant made his escape with a sum of cash, and no one was injured during the incident. Preliminary investigations have revealed thus far that no one has been held accountable for the incident, and investigations into that matter are ongoing. Meantime, reports reaching the VON Newsline have revealed that one of the Chinese restaurants at Baker's Corner in St. Kitts was robbed on Sunday night. 3 armed and masked men entered the Chinese restaurant located in the building that once housed Radio 1. It is unknown if the bandits took cash, if bullets were discharged, or if anyone was injured. Investigations continue. Governor of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank ECCB, Mr. Timothy Antoine, has indicated the bank's intention of reducing the use of cash and checks in the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union ECCU. However, Governor Antoine noted that cash has its convenience and will continue to play a very important role in the economies of the ECCU member states for the foreseeable future.
Although a full-scale analysis of the social costs of physical cash in the ECCU has not yet been carried out, it is indisputable that the cost of cash services, including transporting, storing, insuring, securing, are extremely high. Invariably, these high costs are passed on to the consumer. Many people do not recognize that, but that is what happens.
Governor of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank ECCB, Mr. Timothy Antoine. Governor Antoine explained that while the bank is dedicated to decreasing excess cash and checks usage, small businesses are faced with the burdens of cost inefficiencies.
For example, some of our businesses are required to pay as much as 3.5% on every credit card sale. That exorbitant charge reduces and in some instances removes the incentives for small businesses to offer their customers electronic options such as credit cards and debit cards. And if they do, it limits their ability to offer customers discounts because of the costs that they're paying to provide the card services.
Mr. Timothy Antoine. Police here in St. Kitts and Nevis and the other member states of the OECS and Barbados will soon be better positioned to preserve the ocean space in the Eastern Caribbean as a birthright of every Caribbean national. This following the signing of a Memorandum of Understanding MOU between the OECS and the Regional Security System RSS. The signing took place on Friday, April 5th at the RSS Council of Ministers meeting in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. OECS Director General Dr. Didacus Jules said the ocean was the last frontier of untapped economic growth for the region as a collective of ocean developing states. The OECS Commission will coordinate the implementation of the $6.3 million Caribbean Regional Ocean Policy and Strategic Action Plan CROP to ensure the space is managed sustainably to leverage economic opportunities for member states. Statisticians from the statistical offices in St. Kitts and Nevis are among participants from over 20 Caribbean countries and overseas territories in a 4-day workshop taking place in Jamaica. The 4-day activity, which began today, is organized by the United Nations Population Fund UNFPA and the Economic Commission for Latin America and the Caribbean ECLAC in collaboration with the Caribbean Community CARICOM Secretariat. Caribbean statistical offices will be carrying out population and housing census between 2020 and 2022. Through the workshop, participants will acquire skills to enhance their ability to plan and manage a census, including making timely decisions at all stages of the process. This will include the arrangements for testing new methods and technologies for census enumeration, as well as the dissemination and use of census data to generate key national development indicators. The workshop is being facilitated by experts from ECLAC, UNFPA, and CARICOM. Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris will host his monthly press conference on Tuesday, April 9th. The forum will be held in the Parliamentary Lounge at Government Headquarters in St. Kitts at 3:30 p.m. At the conference, the Honorable Prime Minister will seek to once again update citizens and residents of St. Kitts and Nevis on matters of national interest. It will be broadcast live here on Von Radio and attended by the press corps, who will ask questions for the benefit of the listening and viewing public. Nivision-born Professor Dr. Jessica Byron Reid, Director of the University of the West Indies Institute of International Relations of the St. Augustine Campus, Trinidad, is a guest lecturer at the inaugural Diplomatic Week lecture to be held at the St. Kitts Marriott Resort Ballroom on Tuesday 9th April at 7 p.m. The Diplomatic Week lecture comes as a part of the activities for Diplomatic Week 2019, April 7th to the 12th, which is hosted by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs under the theme Securing a Resilient Future Through Strategic Diplomacy and Effective Dialogue. Several St. Kitts and Nevis diplomats and honorary consuls are in St. Kitts and Nevis for Diplomatic Week 2019. And lastly, in our national news segment, 3 new male members have been added to the St. Kitts and Nevis CARICOM Youth Ambassador CYA program. The new members were welcomed to the program by Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Youth, the Honorable Sean Richards, on April 1st during a familiarization meeting. The new members are CYA Dwayne Hendrickson and CYA core members Richard Lee Gums, Shane Brown, and Stephen Phillip. Minister Richards said that an important role of the CYAs and the support system is to work alongside the staff of the department as they seek to empower young persons in all communities. The Caribbean Community CARICOM Youth Ambassador Program CYAP is a mechanism established by the community to facilitate youth participation and partnership in the regional integration process and in national and regional development. The program is coordinated by the CARICOM Secretariat, facilitated at the national level by departments responsible for youth affairs, and implemented through multiple networking and collaborative relationships with stakeholders, including private and public sector agencies, national youth councils, organizations, retired CARICOM youth ambassadors, and international development partners. And that's the national news segment. You can visit our website at www.vonradio.com, or you can check us out on Facebook at Von Radio or our Von Radio YouTube channel for these and other stories. News from across the region is next.
Ladies and gentlemen, this here's another one for the steppers.
Swipe to win big in 2019. That's right, the Bank of Nevis Limited is once again giving you, our valued customers, a chance to win big. Just swipe or use your Bond Visa credit card for US $100 for a chance to win a cruise for 2, an iPhone XS, or a grocery dash at Best Buy Supermarket.
Say what?
Sign up for a Bond Visa credit card and automatically be entered for a chance to win. This offer ends August 31st, 2019. So tell your friends and family, just swipe to win big with the Bank of Nevis. The Bank of Nevis Limited, improving the quality of life. Like us on Facebook or follow us on Instagram.
Welcome back and now on to the regional news. Out of the Turks and Caicos Islands, rescue workers spent all of Sunday, March 31st, scouring the waters around West Caicos for survivors of a deadly boat excursion from Haiti. Tragedy struck at about 8 a.m. when a twin-engine outward boat smuggling several undocumented migrants from Haiti capsized in the shark-infested waters. The Royal TCI Police Force Marine Branch discovered the boat and the team was immediately dispatched to lead the rescue efforts. They were joined shortly after by a team from the U.S. Coast Guard. 14 people were eventually rescued, while tragically, 14 dead bodies were recovered from the water when the search was called off just after 6 p.m. Authorities said at least 4 bodies were still unaccounted for at that time. Throughout Sunday, the police force kept the territory updated on the terrible tragedy and their rescue efforts via emails and social media posts. During one of those updates, Acting Police Commissioner Trevor Botting stated that the force would be using all of its resources in the rescue efforts. This is the second substantial loss of life this year for those braving the perilous journey from Haiti. In the Dominican Republic, investigative agencies on Sunday continue to struggle to clarify the presence of a twin-engine plane in a sugarcane field in eastern Altagracia province. As of yesterday afternoon, the Defense Ministry and other agencies report only that the aircraft made an irregular landing, but not whether there are people arrested and what was in its cargo, if any. The authorities have yet to reveal anything about the white and grey WeVi 312 registry plane. An unconfirmed version is that it carried a large amount of cocaine. The radar allegedly showed that the aircraft took off last Friday night from an undetermined area in Venezuela and was spotted when it entered Dominican airspace at 10:25 p.m. At 10:26 p.m., the authorities ordered a sortie of a Super Tucano fighter but disappeared from radar at 10:28 p.m. The country's East region's sugarcane fields have become landing sites for small planes which bring drugs to the country from Colombia and Venezuela. More news in the Turks and Caicos Islands. Turks and Caicos Islands TCI Premier Charlene Cartwright Robinson is changing her portfolio for a second time this year. The first change for 2019 was announced by way of the TCI Gazette published on January 19th. In a statement to the media on Thursday, the Premier announced that she will be reshuffling her cabinet after this year's budget debate on May 8, 2019. According to the Premier, the reshuffle is part of a commitment to implement a cabinet rotation at the half-term mark of her administration. And lastly, in our regional news segment, out of the Bahamas, after a crane crashed into Royal Caribbean's Oasis of the Seas on the afternoon of Monday, 3rd April, in the port of Freeport, Grand Bahama, it is expected that the vessel will now remain in dry dock for additional repairs. No passengers were on board the Oasis of the Seas at the time, and no passengers were injured around the ship, but it is reported that several workers were injured in the accident, but not seriously, and have received medical treatment. And that's it for our regional news segment. Stay with us for news around the world. Welcome back and now on to the international news. 24 shootings and 5 murders took place across Chicago over the weekend amid a spike in gun violence, police say. 2 children were hurt when gunmen opened fire at a gathering on Saturday. The most recent fatal shooting occurred on Sunday morning. A 52-year-old man was found dead with a bullet wound to the head. There were 44 murders in Chicago in the first 2 months of 2019, compared with 80 for the whole of last year. The 2 children were injured while attending a baby shower in the South Side. They are in a critical but stable condition, police say. The shooting could have stemmed from an ongoing gang conflict in the area, sources say. Investigators suspect 3 fires at black churches in southern Louisiana over just 10 days are related. Federal authorities have joined the inquiry into the fires, which occurred on March 26th April 2nd and April 4th in the St. Laundry parish. Officials have not yet determined the cause of the blazes, which did not result in deaths or injuries. However, the fires have dredged up painful memories of how black churches were razed back in the U.S. Civil Rights era. The fires engulfed St. Mary Baptist Church, the Greater Union Baptist Church, and the Mount Pleasant Baptist Church, all in the same rural community 30 minutes north of Lafayette. The United Nations says 2,800 civilians have been forced to flee the fighting on the southern outskirts of the Libyan capital Tripoli, and that's actually Tripoli between government forces and those of a rogue military commander. At least 50 people have died and others are trapped, and the UN has called for a truce to allow evacuations. The EU has also appealed for a halt for the bloodshed. The BBC's Ruana Shawad reports.
In a statement, the United Nations humanitarian coordinator in Libya said the ongoing battles had blocked emergency services from reaching casualties and civilians and damaged electricity lines. The latest battle for the capital started with an attack by forces loyal to eastern Libya's General Khalifa Haftar. There are two rival centers of power in Libya, split between the east and west of the country. The internationally recognized government sits in the capital, Tripoli. Negotiated settlements sponsored by the UN largely failed in recent years as political and military divisions deepened.
And lastly, in our international news segment, the Catholic Church in Japan has announced it will investigate allegations of sexual abuse against children. The BBC's Asian Pacific editor, Michael Bristow, reports.
A conference of Japanese Catholic bishops has decided to hold what it described as an in-depth internal investigation. When it will begin and how it will proceed is still to be decided. There have already been a handful of accusations against the church in Japan. One man said he was sexually abused as a child by a German priest at a boys' home. Another allegation centres on an international school in Tokyo. Japan is home to just a few 100,000 Catholics. This inquiry shows that allegations of child sexual abuse have reached even the church's most far-flung congregations.
And that brings us to the end of our news segment. The latest in sports is next.
Home and building depots are going green in the month of April. Purchase your selected eco-friendly products, including solar panels in store. Receive 20% discount and a free green shopping bag. Join us as we celebrate Earth Week from 22nd to 29th. Take along your green bag and receive an extra 5% off all the items that can fit inside. Live green. Shop at the TDC Home and Building depots. Terms and conditions apply. See stores for details. Offer good while stocks last.
Welcome back and now on to the sports. In cricket, newly installed Cricket West Indies President Ricky Skerritt believes it will take more than just the Caribbean Premier League to revive cricket's popularity in the region. He said while the tournament had gained mass-based support, the challenge before CWI was to return cricket to a place of prominence within the West Indian culture, once again creating heroes with the ability to inspire a generation. He said he would be sitting down soon with CPL principals to discuss the tournament. The CPL was inaugurated in 2013, replacing the Caribbean T20, which was run exclusively by CWI and is principally run by foreign interests. Featuring 6 franchises with an array of international and domestic players, the tournament has grown in popularity to become the leading T20 domestic leagues across. That's actually one of the leading T20 domestic leagues across the globe. Additionally, while Skerritt said the tournament played a key role in regional cricket development, he pointed out that there were improvements which could be made. The CPL is in its 7th year and is set to bowl off in September. Still in cricket, West Indies fast bowler Alzarri Joseph returned the best bowling figures in Indian Premier League history on his debut in the 2020 competition. Joseph, 22, took 6 wickets for 12 runs in 3.4 overs to bowl Mumbai Indians to a 40-run victory over Sunrisers Hyderabad. He bowled opener David Warner with his first delivery before going on to beat Sohail Tanvir's previous mark of 6 for 14. Joseph joined Mumbai on March 28th after New Zealand's Adam Milne was ruled out of the competition because of a heel injury and was only playing in place of absent Sri Lanka paceman Lasith Malinga. Set 137 to win after Kieron Pollard's unbeaten 46 off 26 balls helped Mumbai post 136 for 7. The Horse were 33 for 2 after losing England opener Johnny Bairstow 16 and Australia's Warner 15 in quick succession. The summarized scores were as follows: Mumbai Indians 136 for 7 in 20 overs, Pollard 46 not out, Sunrisers Hyderabad 96 in 17.4 overs, Joseph 6 for 12. Mumbai Indians won by 40 runs. In tennis, Garbine Muguruza defended her Monterrey Open title after Victoria Azarenka was forced to retire with a leg injury. Former world number 1 Azarenka, playing her first singles final in 3 years, required a medical timeout after losing the first set to have strapping applied to her right calf. The Belarusian, 29, carried on but was clearly restricted before withdrawing when trailing 6-1, 3-1. It is two-time Grand Slam champion Muguruza's first title since winning in Mexico last year. And lastly, in our sports segment in football, in the land of Zulu King Shaka, Jamaica's Reggae Girls mirrored his spirit to some degree, digging themselves from a goal down to draw 1-1 with host South Africa in a friendly international match yesterday. In front of some 30,000 inside the breathtaking Moses Mahabida Stadium and a recreation of a World Cup match atmosphere, Linda Matayolo gave Banyana the lead in the 25th minute. The match, the first meeting of the nations in women's football, pulls the curtains on a one-week Jamaica camp there in the seaside of Durban. And that's it for sports. The weather is next. Welcome back. The weather tonight will continue to be fair to partly cloudy with up 20% or a slight chance of showers. The weather tonight will be east at 11 to 22 kilometers per hour or 6 to 12 knots. The seas are 1.2 to 1.5 meters or 4 to 5 feet. The sunrise tomorrow will be at 1 past 6 a.m. And that's how we wrap up the major news package for today, Monday, 8th April 2019. Before we go, let's take a look at the headlines once again. Nationally, Nevis observes World Health Day as the Federation prepares to introduce universal health coverage and cases of damage by 2017 hurricanes to be dealt with before June 2019. Regionally, 14 persons die at sea in the Turks and Caicos Islands. Internationally, Chicago reports 24 shootings and 5 murders in one weekend. And in sports, T20 tournament key but not enough to revive Windies cricket, so says new Cricket West Indies president Ricky Skerritt. On behalf of the rest of the news team, I am Jarvis Brown wishing you a pleasant evening.